Welcome to World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder. So, in this series, I will be, in World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder, I will be doing cool facts, and I will be going through extensive battles and history, mostly in World War II. So I'll be going in detail on those battles, and I will be, so I'll just be going in detail on these battles and important stuff, and first I'm going to be doing the European theater, and then the Middle East, and then probably the Pacific, and I'll just be doing battles until I'm happy with that. I'll make a playlist on my channel, and then I'll go to these other ones. So right now we're starting with Europe, and I'm just going to do what seems fit. So I started this channel because I like history, and I saw it as a good way to do my YouTube, to start a YouTube channel for my school, because that can help with, writing and writing. It can help with writing, grammar, public speech. So basically, I'll be writing a few pages and then explaining it to you in detail, and giving you the meaning of how it affects us today, and what happened in World War II. So thank you for joining me today in World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder. This is my first episode. Thank you for watching. So some rules for my channel are, just so you're not asking in the comments, I'll be uploading during my free time, hopefully once a week, maybe more, maybe less. My videos will have to be previewed, so it will take a while to get it up there. I do live on Guam. If you don't know where Guam is, Guam actually it happened in World War II. It was taken by the Japs and then Japanese, and then retaken back by American forces later in the war. I can't actually say my location on Guam. I can say I live on Guam, and I can't show my first and say my last name, but my first name, but my last name is not allowed. So I'll just refer to me as Matthias. Okay. So welcome to the first episode of World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder. Today I'll be talking about forgotten invasions of World War II. So, forgotten invasions of World War II. I'll be going over some invasions of World War II that you may not know about, and may come as interesting facts. So we'll start as the first one. 1942, and the tides of war are against Japan. Japan's naval leader, Yamamoto, hatches a plan to invade the USA by aircraft carrier submarines. These special subs can carry 3 specially made dive bombers. They can be they had to be specially fit into the submarine to work correctly. The sub was huge. It was twice the size of Germany's World War II U-boats. The I-400, as it was known, was supposed to be used to bomb American cities to sink back to the depths of the ocean. They started production in 1943, but too late in the war to do anything. There were supposed to be 18 made, then that changed to 5 because of the lack of war supplies, of which only 3 were made. So the I-400 would have been a very, very, very crucial part in the Japanese war effort. It could have bombed American cities to leave, and we don't know where they were. It was very stealthy. It was very big, and it could have done a lot of damage. But it would have done very little too. The I-400 had specially made dive bombers. They could carry 3, and they'd come out of this thing, and they'd unfold all the wings and stuff, and then they'd launch off, and they could use skis or not to get to their destination and drop bombs. Then they would land back next to the carrier, and they'd have a special crane used to put it back on. The I-400 would have done a lot of damage, but it would have taken 30 minutes to launch 3 planes, making it extremely vulnerable to aircraft, ships, or any other type of something that could hurt it. And because of the lack of war supplies, they would have been they would have been bolted instead of welded or sealed. So against depth charges, it would be very, very weak. So we don't actually know the capability of these subs because when Japan surrendered during while they're getting to their mission to bomb places, but Japan surrendered before that, so we don't actually know how that would have been. I'll have some photos, so please watch them. It is 1943, and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and American President Franklin Delano Roosevelt starts a mass production of tanks made of wood and canvas, fake planes and tents, and even rigging lights to look like men were in a massive fort on the coast of England. Operation Fortitude was an operation to trick the Axis powers to think thousands of men are preparing to attack Calais, the port of France closest to England. From German reconnaissance planes in the air, looks like an entire army below. They thought they were going to launch a bigger attack on Calais after Normandy. So, therefore, keeping the bulk of troops on and around the coast of Calais. So it would have been easier to invade Normandy. Tents set up and lights rigged to look like a camp, and even 36 fake radio channels broadcasting false messages. The units that landed on Normandy came around the back and took Calais a few weeks later. So if you don't realize how important that was, they had fake radio channels that were broadcasting false news to the Germans, so they totally thought this was real. The American camp was actually a few miles down, densely covered in trees, and had strict lights policy and stuff. Everything was hidden. But they basically just made a lot of tanks and planes and stuff made out of wood and canvas and painted to make it look like tanks. So they fought a huge attack. Even after we attacked Normandy, Germany still kept their bulk of troops on and around Calais because they thought there was going to be another attack. I will have pictures in the next slideshow. The attack on Dieppe. So, Dieppe, it is 1942 and the British land on the beach of Dieppe, a small fishing port 136 kilometers from Normandy Beach, and that would be landed by Allied troops 2 years later. It was the first attempts to liberate France and eventually all of Europe. The attack started August 19th, 1942. Out of the 6,086 British and Canadian troops, 3,363 died or were captured. The Royal Air Force lost 106 planes, 38 from anti-aircraft fire or accidents, all to the 48 German casualties. Some problems were the tanks could not float well and made ruts in the sand because it was not hard enough. And the tanks could not destroy the cement pillboxes, and hitting one of the hardest defensive positions. They attacked a really defended position. Lack of knowledge on the beach and poor planning killed countless men, but saved countless lives on the Normandy beach from the measures that we took to improve our attack quality and get the best of our little. So, there was a lot that went wrong. A lot of soldiers died, were captured. It was a huge fail. And we did come around Normandy, and because we knew all this stuff that was important, it helped a lot. Yeah. So I will have pictures of that.